One of the elements of your style that's most been remarked on is your ability with light and shadow, your sort of dedication to the elements of chiaroscuro to break up the otherwise flat plane of the motion picture screen. How did that come about in your conscious efforts in film? Were there definite influences such as painting or the early films of the 20s?
I don't know whether they evolved from the style of the motion picture, and they had very little contact with painting, though I'm rather knowledgeable about painting, and I paint a lot. And
you do paint yourself?
Yes, I paint myself, and it was more a feeling for the entire composite picture, the thing.
Your own background in films before you actually got to direct included a great deal of editing, didn't it?
Yes, I edited 50 films a year for William A. Brady before I...
The man who was a theatrical producer
in
New York?
Yes, the man who was a theatrical producer in New York.
And then did you actually do any camera work before you became a director?
No, I never did.
Because there's an anomaly about your career that's simply staggering. I didn't really realize it until I read it in this book. You were your own cameraman on many pictures that you directed.
Yes.
Now, is that absolutely unique? Do you know of any other?
No, I don't know of any other
established director.
No, I don't know of any other director that does that.
Because it shows, to put it mildly, in the work you've done, in the fact that the texture of your films reflects your ideas as much as the stories.
Once in Crime and Punishment, I was approached by the producer who objected to my photographing my own pictures, and until I showed him that it took less time to do it than to instruct another cameraman.
To work through another person to put your own ideas into effect. Did you do the camera work on your very own first picture, The Salvation Hunters?
Actually, I did.
Yes.
And although I had a cameraman working for me, I did.
There's an interesting story in your autobiography apropos of Charles Chaplin. And since it's not in Chaplin's autobiography, would you mind telling it to us again here now about how he saw your film and what came about of it?
Oh, he saw my film and complimented me on it. And
this is when you were absolutely unknown.
This is the first day after my having a film laughed at and ridiculed by the audience. He approached me and said, "I saw your film last night, and I think there are only 2 directors that know anything about motion pictures." And he then became very friendly with me and took my leading lady and made his first The Gold Rush with her.
What was her name?
Georgia Hale.
Georgia Hale.
Gold Rush with her, and then he waited for me to need a job very badly, and he gave me a picture to do, and then he wrapped the picture up and refused to show it.
In your book, you say the picture had one public showing.
One public showing.
And then disappeared forever.
Disappeared.
Do you know whether the print still exists?
No, I don't know, and I don't care very much. I'm satisfied to have made the work, and Chaplin and I remained good friends for many years, and we never mentioned it.
Yeah. Very odd, though, isn't it? That
well,
there should be a whole picture by von Sternberg, produced by Chaplin, that just disappeared from the face of the earth, so far as anyone knows.
That's it.
Was it in Hollywood that you first met Emil Jannings?
No, I met him in Germany I was there for a week's visit, and I met him in Germany about 1925, where I went immediately following The Salvation Hunters, which I'd made. And there I was introduced to him, and he came out to California in 1927 after I had established myself as a director by doing Underworld.
Yes.
And he wanted to be in a film with me.
And was it there that you made The Last Command?
I made The Last Command there.
But then he returned to Germany.
He returned to Germany after making some other films which were not very successful. And he sent me a telegram saying that he had the choice of every major director on earth and that he wanted me to guide him through his first sound film.
First sound film.
And I was very moved by this request and went over there to do it.
It started out, I read, to be Rasputin.
Yes, it started out to be Rasputin, and I didn't want to do it, and I was ready to go back until when he came up with this Professor Unrat, which was the libretto for the Blue Angel, and which had been incidentally around since 1905.
That's when the novel was first
Yes,
published?
that's when the novel
by
was
Heinrich
first-
Mann, Thomas
Heinrich
Mann's
Mann.
brother. Yes,
That's
yes.
it.
There are a lot of stories, and we can't take the time now to explode them all, about how you came, I think the right word is to discover Marlene Dietrich. Could you just summarize it for us now?
Well, it's a much-told story. I went to see two actors of mine, Hans Albers and Rosa Valetti, in a play called Zwei Krawatten, and I noticed a woman who was, she had one line, I believe it was 3 cheers for the gentleman or something like that, and I saw her and asked her to come to my office, and where I interviewed her, and she apparently thought it was a small part and came there and didn't want to do the part when she heard it was a large part.
She felt better.
She felt rather outclassed.
Oh, I see. Well, she was at that time quite a minor actress, was she?
Yes, she was a minor actress, though she had played in some large parts long before that.
And there's a story in the book, which I'm sure makes you feel maybe happy, maybe just sort of wry, about how you chose her over considerable opposition from everyone else.
She made a test for me, which was magnificent. She responded to my direction like no one I'd ever had before, and nevertheless, in spite of the brilliancy of the test, they wanted Lucy Mannheim, who was a rather good actress, but not
Yes.
at all.
I saw her later, I think,
Yes.
in Mädchen in uniform.
Yes, she was a. As a matter of fact, I remember with great pleasure because she sent me a note saying, "Never mind, you're turning me down. Would you mind having tea with me?"
Yeah. Your relations with the Jannings through the film, I gather, were, shall we say, in a state of
Yes.
helpful tension?
No, he was a very difficult actor. I think that I'd rather not talk about it. And
Yes.
let,
Well,
let
it's
them,
anyway, you have talked about
yes,
it in
I'd let them read the book.
in print. You make an interesting statement in your book about, among the many interesting statements, there's time here to refer to only a few of them, apropos of working with Jannings. Few are aware of the contribution made by the apparently invisible to the visible. To photograph a human being properly, all that surrounds him must definitely add to him, or it will do nothing but subtract.
Mm-hmm.
And that verges on the metaphysical. Can you give us, which is not a derogation, but it is the kind of statement that starts one thinking. What you're saying, in other words, that a man looks more attractive, more deep, more shallow, or more whatever, in relation to what's put around him, not just in terms of, well, let
Yes.
me not put words into your mouth.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, that's exactly what I mean. Is that the invisible around it, that is what is visible, though it may apparently be invisible. Most of the actors are very angry with me because I spend an awful lot of time with photographing the background, or rather making the background attractive, and they don't understand that the background itself helps to make the foreground in which they appear.
Creates a world for them.
Creates a world for them.
I know a painter who says that he likes to do his best painting by overpainting something he's painted already. He feels
Yes.
that it
Yes.
improves the texture of what
Yes.
he's doing. There's some relation.
Well, this is something that has to be understood by those who photograph. It's very difficult to make clear in a simple statement.
Can you think of, I know this is difficult, can you think of a specific example in your experience that would dramatize this point of where you had to change or bring in something in the surroundings in order to emphasize character?
No, almost all my pictures, all my photographs have something in the background which makes it important for
Which
for
is
the
not,
actor
not
to be
intended to beautify, but to dramatize inherent qualities of the scene or character.
That's it.
And so on. Two things apropos of the book. In your youth, your extreme youth, you say you worked in a lace house in New York City. And
Yes.
are you joking when you say that experience led you later to some of the lace-like textures of light and shadow?
Oh, I think perhaps I've said it in fun, but it's much more possible that it's
Something
real.
was implanted in your
Something
psyche
was
there.
implied
I remember
in there.
a traveling shot, a trucking shot in Morocco. I think it's Marlene and Dietrich walking down a street under a lattice work of light and shadow. It was revolutionary at the time. It's now commonplace, but that sort of breaking up of light and shadow as a face was walking down through it was it gave the screen a kind of dimension and texture quite beyond anything
Well,
we've done before.
Rather nice to hear that.
It's now a matter of history, not opinion. But there's something else in this book that's fascinating to me as a student. You note in the autobiographical sections various things that happened to you here and there along the way in the course of your many travels that you later used in pictures in
Yes.
transmuted form.
I think so, that almost everything that a human being experiences is transmitted by him, if he's in any way capable of doing so.
Every artist does it, but you seem particularly conscious of the fact that I remembered a little incident on a street corner in Hong Kong.
Well,
or
that's
something.
possibly so.
Yes.